Hey guys, this is mostly a shop update. We're gonna go over a few things on the car, but I just kind of want to fill you guys in. Some new things with the shop, new things I got for the car, things that went wrong, and why I'm gonna be behind schedule. If you guys know the channel, I'm usually behind schedule. There's a lot of things that I'm very forgetful, and that sometimes skews plans. We'll get into the video, and I'll talk you guys through it. For the most part, everything's been going good. We did have a little bit of a cold spell here in Michigan where it got down to 30s at night. I was thinking to myself, man, I'd planned to do spray foam before this winter, and this winter's basically here before I knew it. It's kind of a crap year of trying to plan things out, and everything that I have planned has basically failed or not went the way that I wanted. I just dropped everything and started cleaning the barn out. I got a contractor over here for spray foam. I basically lost like a week and a half, 2 weeks of just cleaning the barn out and stuffing all of the projects and the tools and stuff in the old section of the barn over there. But as you can see, the walls are spray foam. It's been really nice in here. It got up to 80 one day and it was only 50 in here. It's holding ambient temp in or out depending on if it's cold or hot. So that's really nice. I've been working in the garage a little bit, and I'm still kind of unpacking things from the old garage. Everything's taking longer than I had thought. There's a few new parts on the car. I had 28s on the front before, but they rubbed really bad. So these are Mickey Thompson 26-inch front runners. They're for a 17-inch wheel. Those are a bias ply. They're a lot lighter than the radials that I had on the car. I did do a little bit of the fuel system. Still not done with the fuel system. I kind of got sidetracked on this. I've been just kind of like doing rounds of ordering things, and then I go to put them on the car as they come in. But these are Racetronics 180 degree to PTFE ORB fittings. So it goes directly to the rail. There's no fitting here. It's a dash 8. Comes back here, goes into my regulator that I made a mount for. Same regulator I had last year, just a Holly regulator. And then I'm gonna feed the back of the rail here, and that goes in Y's on the other side. If you can see it, Y's down there, so that's the feed. One of the things I did want to point out, I made a post about this on Sloppy and Boosted LSX, I think. For people who want to run the truck alternator setup, so you can see just a factory truck alternator mount, factory truck alternator. You're kind of limited on a fitting that will fit here. A lot of people run a 90 it over that way, and then if they want to run it where I'm running it, they would run another 90. So it's basically stacked fittings. This is that same Racetronics dash 8 to PTFE. So I've got mirrored on both sides, and then I'm gonna have this was a dash 6 return here, but we're gonna go dash 8. So my feeds are dash 10, dash 8 return. I think last year I had dash 8 feed, dash 6 return, but it's not really that big of an upgrade. It was just the PTFE stuff that I found when I was trying to work on it. I did get a lot of the hot side done. I don't think I showed you guys that on the last video. Basically got a 3.5-inch merge there from the 2.5s underneath the car. And I've got this flex joint here, 3.5-inch, goes up into the turbo. Have not mounted yet, but I have a new wastegate that I kind of wanted to just splurge and buy something nice, so I bought a Turbo Smart 60 mil. This thing's massive. I basically thought I only had a spot for one gate, so I just wanted to buy a nice one. I bought this Turbo Smart one, which is something I haven't used before. I'm kind of excited to use that. It was expensive, but I think it'll be worth it. I've heard no complaints. So after I get done with the hot side, I apologize for the cricket that's just chirping away in the background. I tried to find him and get rid of him, but I haven't. After I get done with the hot side, I'm going to do an aluminum downpipe. And basically it's just going to come, I've got some 4-inch right here. It's going to come like that, come back, go down, and then come out the bottom of the fender like last year. I've got a 180-degree thing, so to kind of point outward on the outside of the fender. I do have some kind of bad news for the car. I was hoping that I could run these flip ball joints. The A-body Mopar, the ball joint is basically connected to the spindle with those two bolts. You can see the bolt right there. There's another bolt, and then that holds the lower ball joint, but also the steering arm. So I'm actually going to have to fabricate or have somebody mill me out a lower ball joint holder, which I'm kind of in the works with talking to a guy about it. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but it's just going to be another setback as far as being the car roadworthy. But in all honesty, if this car makes it to dyno this year, I will be more than ecstatic. As you can see, that's got a lot of, it's almost straight on this side, and it's not really even very turned. But what's going on with the car is that if you turn it, the outside tire turns more than the inside tire, and then it the car just kind of jerks and scoots and probably grinds the tires off of it. We're gonna have to deal with that before it ever makes it down the road. Not really a big deal. I could probably dyno it with that, but I won't be able to drive it. I don't really know if I'm gonna deal with that before the dyno. I guess it depends on when my buddy has dyno time. I did end up getting all the cables and stuff for the TCI Outlaw that I have. I bought this, but just the shifter, had nothing else. I went directly to TCI thinking that would forego having me get headaches over this thing, and of course it is giving me headaches. Can't get it to adjust correctly. I do have another basically shift arm. I'm going to drop the pan and try this. The shift arm that's on it is directly from TCI, so I mean it should very well be correct, but the one from TCI has a dog leg in it. It drops over and then down, and it kind of puts the cable in a bind, so I don't know if that's something I'm doing wrong or something that whoever sold me the parts overlooked. But yeah, we're getting kind of close on it. I got my dipstick mounted. I don't think that's very important. I got this dipstick mounted. I did get my dump valve mounted. I'll show you guys that. I'm still trying to not show you guys the other project that I want to get to. Okay, so it doesn't really look like much, but this is actually the back. This is actually the tail housing mount, just flipped on its side, and it bolts directly to the pan. So I don't know if that was intentional by Hughes, but it actually works. It just bolts right on there, and the hoses and everything fit. Pretty cool. I just gotta wire that up. I gotta get this car back up in the air. I'm too fat to be this low to the ground. As far as time frame on the car, I was shooting for the end of the month. I'm still waiting on a few pieces. I still gotta do fuel system. I've still got to buy a 10 micron fuel filter. I've still got to do a little bit of wiring, a little bit of hose, mount my fuel cell in the back. Got to mount my trans cooler, got to do battery mount, there's quite a few things now that I think about it. Yeah, we're looking like a couple more weeks, maybe a month out still. Basically, the barn set me back 2 weeks. And as far as getting parts here and stuff, if I can get it plumbed and stuff in the next couple weeks, I mean, it should fire and run. But I'm not going to swear to it because I do have a few things coming up that I need to front some money for. And obviously, the spray foam took quite a chunk of change. Trying to conserve my money a little bit. I'm not going to be spending paycheck to paycheck on it. I do have a transmission video coming up whenever I get to editing it. It's halfway on my girlfriend's and my computer. So I also want to say a big thank you to my girlfriend for stepping up and editing all the videos now. As you guys know, I post very inconsistently, and my biggest flaw is editing because I just dread editing. It just seems like my brain just doesn't go when I'm editing, so it just takes me like 6 hours, and I just think about it, and I'm like, man, I could get so much more done on my car if I was just working for 6 hours rather than editing. But that's kind of the main holdup. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next video.